Now it's time for the Rob Johnson Sports Show, presented by the Legacy Maker Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rob Johnson Sports Show. I'm Rob Johnson. I am here with the Sports Judge. Sports Judge, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. What's going on?
Nothing much. We'll be able to look at each other in 1 second after I get off here. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the Sports Judge. Sports Judge, let everybody know what you've got going on, everything that you've been doing, all the great work you've been putting in lately, my friend.
Man, yeah, sure thing. So, as you know, I've been focusing a lot on my short videos and my commentaries and everything. So I've been posting a lot of hot takes and short videos lately on my TikTok, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. I mean, you can find it in various places. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. So, if you guys want to connect and stay in touch, you guys can find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Sports Judge. You guys can also find me on Instagram, The Sports Judge 85. And then you guys can find me where I've been really active of late, TikTok, because that's the new thing, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what's going on now. So you guys can find me on TikTok as well. The Sports Judge 85 over there as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing these days, and just staying consistent and forever grinding.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of hot take, our last topic tonight will be the hot take. And Sports Judge, I'm asking you to bring it in the most hottest way you can bring it. I'm not a big Pat McAfee fan. However, tonight I'm gonna let you go a little Pat McAfee. Not too many curse words. Maybe a little damn, little hell. But you're gonna be able to go off tonight on our last topic, which I will be going off as well on my topic. And it doesn't have to be a sports Judge. It can be any topic that you want it to be in the world. We're gonna go a little Cat Williams tonight.
Okay. I'm down for that. I'm down for that, my friend.
Hey. Yes, sir. Now, Sports Judge, this weekend we have a lot of key games in the NFL. The first game I want to talk about is the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. These teams, if I can make sure I have my graphic correct, there we go. The Colts are 33-10-1 all time against the Houston Texans. This game is basically for the division. If the Jacksonville Jaguars go down and lay an egg this weekend at Tennessee, then basically they win the division. One of those teams can win the division. Break down this game for me and tell me, who do you think wins this game and why?
Man, I like the way Houston has played this year. I like the confidence in their young quarterback, CJ Stroud, however you say his name.
CJ Stroud. You're good.
I'm still trying to learn how to say it properly, but people know what I mean when I say his name. But anyway, man, he's had a rookie season, man. He's had a year. DeMeco Ryans, man, he's come in and changed the culture there, and it's surprising what this guy's done in one season, right? Because this is his first season as the head coach. I like Houston, but I like the Colts too. I like the Colts a lot too. The Colts, I mean, they're not among the NFL's best, the NFL's best, but I mean, they're knocking on the door, and they have a chance to clinch a playoff spot. And I mean, if that offensive line holds up, I think everything hinges on how well the offensive line performs. If they can protect the quarterback, and if they can, allow Jonathan Taylor to do his thing on the ground, I think this Colts team has a great chance to win this game. So I guess I'll go with the Colts. I like the Colts a lot better than the Texans. The Texans are still young. They're still trying to figure things out. You
know what's crazy to me, Sports Judge, and this is a little bit of a caveat, and this kind of goes towards another team. Isn't it crazy how well Gardner Minshew is playing? And he doesn't have the best receivers, right? Like he doesn't have a CeeDee Lamb, he doesn't have an AJ Brown, he doesn't have a Devontae Smith, which is crazy to me because when you think about it, I think the Eagles knew how well this guy could play. And if you look at Jalen Hurts right now, don't you think there'd be a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia right now? Because, the thing is when I look at both of these teams, look at CJ Stroud. I think D'Amico Ryan has done so many good things as far as helping this defense get better. This defense is a lot better. Yes, they lost to Zach Wilson, but so did the Eagles, and so did some other good teams losing to the Jets that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. But what I'll say is that for the Texans, they have to be consistent. They've won some close games this year, Sports Judge, but they blew out Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has to go to Baltimore. Baltimore is going to rest their starters, but you rest assured, Baltimore doesn't want Pittsburgh in the playoffs. So if there's so many scenarios, the Colts can still get in, the Colts can still win the division, the Texans can still win the division. I think personally, the Texans win this game, but if they do it, they're going to have to run the football. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to the run game. I think the run game's gonna have to be strong in this game. And this game is gonna show that the run game still matters in today's NFL. I
Can
mean, I
can
know
can 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 I stop you right there?
yeah,
Before the season, they said that the running game meant absolutely nothing. Go
right.
ask the Dallas Cowboys, go ask a few other teams in the NFL. The running
Uh-huh.
game still matters. There's a reason Dalvin Cook got picked up after almost 2 days. The running game to me, me and you will probably get into the running backs maybe here in a couple of months when it comes to NFL draft. There's some really good running backs coming out. If you can't run the football, especially coming this time of year, you're not going to win football games. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not. You're not. Your run game, your offense has to be predicated on the run game. You
Exactly.
have to establish the run. I'm a believer of this. I'm a firm believer of this. You have to establish the run often and early. You know,
Exactly. Set a tone.
people, what people don't realize, the run is what opens up the offense, right? You can
Exactly.
you can run play action plays. You can get very creative. You take a lot of pressure off the quarterback. It helps tremendously in so many ways. So I think I think I think what you're getting to is that the run game is going to alleviate a lot of pressure on a young quarterback that's going to have his growing pains, it's going to have his moments, and I think that's why the run game is going to be vital.
And here's the other problem for Houston. Noah Brown is out. Dale has an injury that's taken him out the whole season. Your
Yep.
guy, a
Yep.
guy that, yep, a guy that you know very well, Mr. Michael Pittman, USC.
Yep.
104 catches on 150 targets, 1,108 yards, 4 touchdowns. Talk
Yep.
about his evolution and how, like, if he has a big game, Sports Judge, which I think he possibly can, that's going to be tough on the Texans, man. They got a lot of injuries, brother. They have a lot of injuries.
Yeah. Yeah. They do have a lot of injuries. And Michael Pittman, man, talking about an evolution, man, he has grown up a lot in this league.
Yes.
He has been an X factor for that offense. And I like what I've seen from him. And you know what? I didn't think coming into the NFL, he was my guy, right?
Yeah, out
I've
of
always,
USC, definitely. Yep.
I've always respected him and stuff, but I didn't think he would be. I didn't think he would really translate well over into the NFL. I didn't think he would be as good as he is now. I didn't think he would be this cornerstone receiver
Exactly.
for his team. I
Hmm.
just didn't think he had that potential. I didn't think he had that upside, but he has proved a lot of people wrong. He has really arisen to the occasion, and he has been a solid piece to that Colts offense. And I think
Hmm.
he's a huge factor, and he's a part of what they do over there in Indianapolis. So I think if he has a monster game, yes, there's a great
We're
chance the Colts can do big things.
15 seconds or less. The Colts beat, and Will Anderson, who's their first round pick, he has an ankle. He has 7 sacks. He's injured. 15 seconds or less, Sports Judge. The Colts beat the Ravens. The Colts have been very competitive. How dangerous are they in the playoffs?
That's tough. That's tough to really say. I think they can be. I think any AFC team can be really dangerous in the playoffs. Why? Because the AFC has been wide open this year. There's not really a number one dominant team, right?
Yeah,
There's not
yes.
really a team that stands out, with the exception of the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens are obviously in an elite class of their own, but there's really not a number two or a number three or anybody else that you look at it and you say, wow, okay, I think they got something. I think they're scary. I think they're gonna be a team to a team to be reckoned with, a team that you got to really watch out for. No, there's no teams like that. So I think it's open. It's it's uh, it's one of those things where you can say, well, this is anybody's shot this year. Anybody have a chance to be dangerous, to pose a threat, to be scary, particularly in the AFC. So I think if the Colts win a game, there you go. There's a
Yeah.
chance for them to, make things interesting in the AFC. And I think if the Colts win, if they're one of those teams that do win,
Hmm.
they could shake up the playoff standings for sure.
Definitely. Let's get to the next game. We're going to start getting through these games pretty quickly as we look at Dallas against Washington. Sports Judge, a lot of people, I gave a stat out earlier this year. Like I said, I can't remember it. It's a long stat, but basically it was about Chase Young, and when he played, the Cowboys didn't win. And if you go back to the games that Chase Young played in, which was last year, they lost, and they lost in a game, I believe it was in 2020, during the pandemic year where they lost. The Cowboys have been early dominant against the Commanders. You look at those scores, 45-10, 25-10, and 56-14. They've beaten them every time they played. In your opinion, does Dallas do you give Washington any chance in this game? The score, they're 77 and 48-2 all time against Washington. Do you give Washington any chance in this game whatsoever?
No, Washington is not going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be up on their game coming into this game. We saw what they
But what
did
if
to
they what if they
them.
do? What if they do, Sports Judge? What if
But
Washington pulls this off? What kind of ramifications are we talking about?
ooh, that's a major shakeup in the NFC. That's what every Eagles fan is dreaming of,
Yeah,
because now we're talking about the Eagles possibly winning the division, although they haven't played well themselves in recent
no
weeks
sir,
here.
no sir.
So, I mean, that would be a crazy scenario if you ask me, if that does happen. But in reality, do I see it happening? No. I think the Dallas Cowboys take care of business. They know what's at stake here. They want to keep the Eagles where they are, and
Hmm.
so I think if you watch that game on Thanksgiving Day, they annihilated them. They
So give me three keys. What are three things Dallas must do? I'm talking about player wise. Three things they
oh
must do. Either player or something they must do. Three things they must do to make sure that they go in and beat this Washington team. Because I can tell you firsthand, Sports Judge, I've seen now in the past Dallas has rested their starters, et cetera, et
right.
cetera. But I've seen Washington. This is their Super Bowl. They really get up for this. Like this is this is these guys' Super Bowl. Okay, a lot of people think I'm joking when I say that. It's just like we have to understand some, Sports Judge. If I bring this graphic up one more time, you see that 26-6 score right there? That's where Sam Howell was born. And this could be the same Sunday where Sam Howell's career dies.
Right,
Go
I
ahead.
got you. Well, Washington's playing for pride. They're playing for pride, and this is a division rival. So yeah, when you play a division rival, you usually play them harder, right? You usually play them tough.
But,
Show up.
but, but there should be
But
no reason in hell that Dallas loses this game Sunday.
no,
Unless
I
unless there's a
agree.
monsoon and a snowstorm.
Unless there's
Because
a,
what
a bunch of injuries. That's the only
exactly.
way I can see that happening. I don't look. The keys to victory for the Dallas Cowboys is taking care of the football. Dak
Hmm.
has to take care of the football. Dak has to be efficient. If he
Yes.
does that, they have a chance to win. The defense has to show up. They have to get
Yes.
some. They have to. But they have to show up the way they usually
Yes.
do it, and that's forcing turnovers. If the Dallas
Yes.
Cowboys force turnovers, they usually win the game. They got to get a few pick sixes. They got to get a few interceptions. They got to force some fumbles. If they do that, they'll they could give Dak Prescott and the offense a short field, give them the ball back. I think that's how they win. Another thing that needs to get better, but it's not going to change because Mike McCarthy is who he is. He's set in his ways.
Yeah.
Stop being too damn one-dimensional. Run the football. Run the freaking football. They're too damn one-dimensional. You know, he's a pass-happy coach. He designs all these passing plays. And I thought late in that game last Sunday, you know, he didn't eat up enough clock. Clock management was an issue again. You know, he called all these careless passing plays, you
I
know, and not
agree.
enough running plays to burn clock late in that game. It's just you got to be better in situational football that Mike McCarthy is not really good at. So play calling's got to be better, clock management's got to be better, and being able to take care of the football is critical. Also, Dak Prescott making sound decisions with the
Agreed.
football. I think
Agreed.
if you do that, the Dallas Cowboys will take care of business and they should win the game.
And I'll say this real quick. Michael Parsons has to have one of those generational changing games. Hunter Luke, I don't know if you ever Luke, I don't know if you ever watched him in North Dakota State. The dude can run. Like, give him more carries. I know he fumbled the ball in Miami. I get that, but the guy can run. He can block. And Rico Dow is the key for this team to start playing better because you take the pressure off Tony Pollard. Now, I don't have a graphic for the Eagles and the Giants. It's our next game. But the Eagles are 9-3 and 87-2 all time against the Giants. Sports Judge, talk to me about the Philadelphia Eagles because I know there's been a lot of talking. Sports Judge, if they go in and lay an egg against the Giants and then lose in the playoffs, and then we're going to get into this topic soon about head coaches, could Nick Sirianni be in trouble?
Yes, absolutely. I think he's on the hot seat. And I call an upset in this game. I think the Giants will beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I've said it. I've been saying it. And the reason why I believe this is because this defense is all over the place. Look, since Matt Patricia took over the play calling duties, this defense has gotten worse. They're trying to do things. They're trying to do too much. The defense is trying to do too much. The defense is not making things simple. Keep it simple. Simplify things. That's what the defense is not doing. I think they're overthinking it. Things look complicated on that defensive side of the ball. We talk about how the secondary always gets beat. You still got James Black. I said Blackberry, but Bradbury. You guys know
Bradbury, yeah.
James Bradbury is getting
and Slayton is still out. Slayton is still out.
Yep. And you know what? There's a problem with this defense. Like, this defense is just, they look confused. They look like they don't know what to do out there. They look lost. I don't know how I feel about this Philadelphia Eagles team, but I will tell you this. If they do lose and if they get bounced in the playoffs, which I think they will, sadly, I think they're a one-and-done team. I think Nick Sirianni might be out. I think the whole coaching staff is out because you got to clean house. This coaching staff has looked bad. Look, they lost both of their coordinators to head coaching jobs. You know, obviously the players didn't get on the same page with these coordinators. I called out Brian Johnson. I said he was a bad offensive coordinator. And people got on me for that, but I think he's a bad offensive coordinator. The defensive
If you go back,
better.
go back to the preseason, Sports Judge. See, a lot of people out there who are not in this business like dismiss the preseason. Go back and watch the Eagles preseason 2 years ago and watch it from this past season. You can see differences. You can see how there was more attention to detail 2 years ago. There was more of a focus. There wasn't no focus this year. And I think that was critically important. Let me say this about the Giants, and I'll ask you this, because I know we have to come through with the Giants angle. How much would it surprise you? Before I get there, do you remember a guy named Paxton Lynch? Remember that contract for Paxton Lynch? Remember that Paxton Lynch contract?
I remember him.
We could see the same thing with Daniel Jones. It would not shock me if Tyrod Taylor is a starting quarterback going into next year. Because all of a sudden, Sports Judge, that offensive line got better. All of a sudden, the Giants started playing better. Saquon Barkley started having more confidence in that offense. The receivers started catching the ball. Give me a score. What do you think this game is going to be? I'm picking the Giants, man.
I'm gonna say 24-14.
Giants?
Yep.
You think the Eagles are going to score 14? Hey, that's big, man. Only 14 points. Listen, I think if
Yeah.
that happens, and I'll tell you this too. If they look up on the scoreboard and it's getting nasty in Washington when Dallas is beating up on Washington, they could put the backups in, which I think is a bad idea. I think these guys need as much work as they can get.
And you know what else? It's baffling to me how much Jalen Hurts has regressed.
Can I admit something to you?
Yeah.
I had a feeling he was going to regress before the end of the season. I just didn't say anything because I didn't want people saying you're going to be a hater. But if you honestly look back at his 2000, what, 22, 23, doesn't it kind of remind you of Dak's rookie season? If you honestly think about it and you look at how
Yeah.
much they protected Dak Prescott, they protected Jalen Hurts a lot last year. And people talk about easy schedule, Sports Judge. The Eagles had an easy damn schedule last year that people just don't talk about.
Right. Right. I felt the same way about their schedule this year. It wasn't that brutal of a schedule.
Yeah. But it's the
You know,
NFL, so it's still hard, right? It's the
right,
NFL.
right. It's still hard. It's still hard, but yeah, Jalen Hurts has taken a step back because last year he was putting up video game numbers. Like
Yeah.
this dude was putting up Madden, NFL Madden numbers.
Yeah. And
Video
and this
game.
and this and this is what I don't understand, right? You're a West Coast dude. You watched Seattle play last year, last couple of years. You got Rashad Penny on the bench. You're not even using them. What is up with that? Could you explain to people just how good Rashad Penny is? Like they're not using him.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
there,
understand that.
yeah.
He's really really good, and they should be utilizing him more. You know, hey, I don't know why that is. It kind of reminds you of a coach like Arthur Smith, how he doesn't utilize Bijan Robinson enough. Did I say
Horrible,
his last
man.
name
Yeah,
correct?
Bijan Robinson from the University of Texas.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm, I'm
yeah.
right with you there,
I
Sports
mean,
Judge.
it's a similar situation there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have an if you have a talent like that,
Yes.
you have to find a way to incorporate him into the offense or to get him more involved in the
Yes, you do.
offense.
Yes, you
Like,
do.
you can't be misusing players.
No, no. Well, like I said, we both agree the Giants will win that game. Let's go on to the next score. We have the Packers and the Bears. Sports Judge, let me give you a stat. Crazy, right? The Bears have not beaten the Packers since December 16th, 2018, and they haven't won in Green Bay since November the 20th, 2015. You heard me right when I said that. But here's the thing. Even though the Bears aren't going to the playoffs, Sports Judge, and we'll get into this topic a little later with the Bears, I think that the Bears, this could be their springboard like the Detroit Lions last year. I think that they have the ability to go into Green Bay, take away their playoff chances, and this could springboard them into greatness going to next year. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't see it. I
You
really like what
don't?
Green Bay. I really like what Green Bay's been doing. I like what Jordan Love's been able to do. Uh,
Okay, okay.
Jordan Love has grown each week. It's like this man has improved with time. And I mean, I like Jordan Love. I know a lot of people at first wasn't on board with this,
I'm
and
a
a
fan.
lot of people. I get it. You went from a Hall of Fame quarterback to an unproven quarterback who you didn't really know much about. You you want him to come in and be that next franchise quarterback. And he was showing some glimpses and some flashes of promise, but it wasn't what you wanted to see at first. I like Green Bay. I think they know what's at stake. I think they know what they need to do. They know how critical this game is. They know how important this game is. This is a team that's fighting for its playoff lives. I think they'll be fine with the exception of Joe Barry, who's a terrible, terrible defensive coordinator, man. I'm surprised they have survived as long as they did with him as the defensive coordinator. But yeah, but
Joe,
to your
yeah.
point, I think the Packers. will take care of the Bears. I don't see the Bears going in there pulling off the upset. Now, I get what you're saying. The Bears are playing with pride as well. You know, um,
The Bears are 7-9, man. There was a time where
yeah,
we didn't think they would get to 5 wins. I mean,
yeah, right, right,
and,
right.
and here's the thing, sports judge. You look back at Week 15, and you look at how hot the Browns have been. They lost the Browns 2017, right?
Right.
Like even they beat the Lions 28-13. They lost to the Lions by 5. Sports judge, they would be in the playoffs right now. I mean, and then by 7 to the Saints, 6 to the Vikings, 3 to the Broncos. We're talking about a playoff team, sports judge.
Yeah, they kind of picked the wrong time to start winning games, and some of those games they fell short, or
Yeah,
they were close. They were kind of like last year's Lions, right? The
that's
Lions
what I'm
lost a
saying.
lot of the
That's
Lions
that's
lost
what
a
I'm
lot of close
saying.
games. Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
what I'm saying, sports judge.
I get your point now. What you're saying, they could be like this year's Lions going into next season. This could be
Springboarding them.
this could be like a momentum builder going into next season. Gotcha. I get it.
But but
Right.
but 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 let me say this though. It's funny because Aaron Rodgers came out and said this week that we have been beating them 9 straight times. What the hell are you talking about? We? You play for the Jets. See what he's doing? I know exactly what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He's trying to get the Bears revved up because he wants to see the Packers miss the playoffs. It's that sneaky Aaron Rodgers. Do you see it too? I see it.
Yeah. I see it. I see it. I see it. There's a little bitterness there. There's a little, you know,
Egomaniac.
yeah, and maybe some sour grapes too. Because what what if that team gets in the playoffs without him? And the Jets don't get to the playoffs. There you go.
I'm gonna tell you
No
straight up.
sour grapes.
I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. Dallas gets the 2 seed. The last team they want to see is Green Bay Packers. Not only because of history, but because Jordan Love, if he gets hot at the right time, I'm telling you, he's not afraid to go to Dallas. He's not afraid to go to Philadelphia. He's not afraid to go to Detroit. He's not afraid to go to San Francisco. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something. If the Green Bay Packers get hot and Christian Watson comes on, because Christian Watson was a Cowboy killer last year. If he comes on and Jay Daniels is his lead receiver, 60 catches. Jay Daniels out of Michigan State. Come on, man. If you look back at Aaron Rodgers, who he had, Aaron Rodgers had Donald Driver, he had Jennings, and he had a slew of other really good receivers. I mean, that Jordan Love don't got that. Could you imagine if Jordan Love had Donald Driver this year in his prime? Come on now. So we'll leave that there, but it should be a
It can
very
be dangerous. You're right. I think any team this year could. It's been a weird year in the NFL. It's
yeah.
been
But sports judge, there's certain
strange.
teams. There's certain teams like the Browns, like the Packers. I know people are big on the Rams, but the Rams, I have concerns about the Rams because even though the Rams have been playing better, they only beat the Giants by a point last week. And when they did go to Dallas, they got beat by 23. So I'm just saying, Matthew Stafford is still Matthew Stafford. And do I think that the Rams can make some noise? Possibly, yes. But I know that you and me both have our concerns. But they're still a dangerous team. So I feel you in a sense, but I think there are certain teams that they're very dangerous more than others. Now, let's
Not
go
as
to
dangerous
our.
as the Browns.
Oh my God. Could you give me a second? Okay. I had to pause on that one because man, those guys are looking crazy. Now, let's go to our last game. And I think this is the most pivotal game. The Dolphins and Buffalo Bills. Now, sports judge. As we talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers before, Mason Rudolph somehow, some way is playing better football. Don't ask me how. But I guess this just shows that Kenny Pickett stinks. Like I said, he was going to stink when he came out of Pittsburgh with his little small, tiny hands, right? So let's look at the graph again. 62, 57, and 1. The Dolphins lead the all-time series against the Bills. Before we talk about the game, is this a legacy game for Josh Allen? Is this a legacy game? Straight up.
I think the playoffs would be more of a legacy game, but I know what you mean. I think this is a huge game with playoff implications. I think I think I think a lot of people will measure him on this performance, the way he plays in this game. Uh so
Because
yeah,
if they lose, they're out. If they win,
right,
they could
right. So
possibly
this
get the
might
two
be
seed.
this could be a legacy defining moment for him, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And both teams are hunting to lock in their playoff spot. So yeah, this game is critical. Um, the Dolphins have already punched their ticket, but the AFC East crown is up for grabs. The Bills, stand in their way and are a hungry team. They can
Hmm.
capture their own playoff berth. So I think this means more for the Bills than it does Miami. Um, and Miami, man, they just took a great beating against the Baltimore Ravens.
But but
Who,
but
by
sports
the way,
judge, but
who
sports
wants
judge, don't you think that if they had lost a close game, that this game would be more of a demoralizing thing for them? They got whooped in Baltimore, straight
they
up.
got they got spanked. Yeah,
So
yeah,
now,
they got spanked.
so so now you're the Buffalo Bills, right? And
Right.
I hate to bring this up to Buffalo Bills fans, but even in a win, you beat the Giants 14-9. You lost to the Patriots on the 22nd of October. You lost to the Jets the opening game of the season. So really, sports judge, you and they lost to the Bengals. I believe this was after Joe Burrow got hurt. They lost to the Broncos, who supposedly suck, but they don't. And they lost to the Eagles 37-34 when they missed a wide open receiver. The Bills have no one to blame but themselves. And that's the problem, sports judge. The Bills are so hot and cold. If this game was in Buffalo Sunday night, I'd give it to Buffalo. I think they're in the, and you've heard me say this on Facebook. I think they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Miami, I think Miami too is going to do some, is going to put some work on them Sunday night.
And the thing with Miami is that all season long they haven't been able to really beat good teams.
True, I'll give you that.
That's been the one knock on them, right? Everyone talks
Yeah,
about that every week. That's been the narrative, that they can't beat a very good team. And then here you have a Buffalo team that's gotten hot in recent weeks, has played a lot better. They played complementary football. I think Josh Allen has gotten going at the right time. But
yes,
I've always said this about this Buffalo Bills team, that they're opportunistic, right?
yeah,
They're a very opportunistic team. Josh Allen, at times, the thing with Josh Allen is that you never know which Josh Allen will show up.
that's the problem.
Right, right.
That's the
That is the
problem,
problem.
man.
Inconsistencies. He can be a little reckless at times.
Yes,
He tries to do too much, and then that results in a turnover. It's
yes.
things like that. But the
Especially,
Bills
especially
defense
the,
has gotten better.
yeah.
What was that?
No, I'm saying, especially the first game against the Jets. Just think about how huge that game was now.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers went out like the first or second, third play in the game. And they had the
Right.
game. Josh Allen just could not stop throwing interceptions.
Right, right. And he can't afford to throw any interceptions in this game, but I think the Bills are feeling good about themselves. They're very confident. You
Yeah.
know, they're riding a 4-game winning streak. And I felt like the last couple of weeks here, they've bounced in and out of playoff contention. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the thing. So it'll be interesting to see um, what happens in this game. But I mean, hey, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a wild game. And if I have to pick a team, I'm gonna pick the Bills.
Ah,
The
not
reason why
in Miami? In
the
Miami?
reason in Miami, I'm gonna pick the Bills in Miami. It would
Oh,
be
come
different if
on.
Miami. It would be different if Miami was in Buffalo, because it's colder weather. Especially if you play in the snow. I don't think Josh Allen this time and the Buffalo Bills are gonna let Miami beat them. They know what needs to be done. They know what's at stake here, And I think the Bills are favorites to defeat the Dolphins, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
according to the odd makers in Vegas. So I'm gonna ride with the Bills here, man. I
Just,
think
just,
the
just,
Bills will be
yeah.
hungry enough for the road victory, and I think they'll capture the win, excuse me,
But sports
over
judge, yeah.
the
But
Dolphins.
before we go to the next topic, just remember, look at the graphic right there. January 15th, 2023. There was no Tua. It was Mr. Thompson. And somehow, some way, the Miami Dolphins scored 31 points and only lost 34-31. You're telling me? So what I'm seeing is the Tua that's going to come home and is going to beat up on Buffalo. Buffalo's going to have a stinker. Buffalo's going to have a stinker, man. I'm telling you, I see it, Joe Sports Judge. Buffalo's going to have a stinker, and it's going to get ugly in the offseason. Stephon Diggs, you thought his rant against the Bengals was bad? Just wait. Just wait to see if they have a stinker this weekend. Wait.
And if they do have a stinker, and if they do put up a clunker, then I'll tell you this: Sean McDermott will no longer be the head coach there.
Well, Sports Judge, thank you for that segue, sir. Let's get to our next topic. Let's talk about coaches. I'm going to go through the list of coaches. You tell me whether they're staying or going. Just tell me, staying or going. And some of these coaches, it's very easy. Some of them, hey, you never know. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals.
Stan, it's his first year.
Arthur Smith, Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, that's hard. Going?
John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens, staying, of course.
Stan. Yeah.
Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills. It all depends, right?
It all depends.
Chris Tabor, Carolina Panthers. He's interim, so he's going. He's gone.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not even
he's
a
definitely
question.
going.
Matt Eberflus, if he wins this game, is he definitely staying? If he loses, is he going?
I heard that the Bears organization is sold on him, so I guess I'll say Stan.
Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor, definitely staying, right? Staying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns, easy, staying.
Man,
Mike McCarthy,
coach of the year.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy, Dallas Cowboys. Now, let me put caveat to this: they lose to Washington, 5 seed, go to either Tampa, Atlanta, or New Orleans and lose. Is he out?
Hell no, he's Stan. He's a yes man.
Son of a mother. Sean Payton, Denver Broncos.
You know how I feel about this guy. I know you heard me rant. I don't know. It's been a utter disaster over there. I don't know. I kind of want to say Stan. I don't know. I don't want to see him stay, but if I had to choose going or stay, I guess I'll say stay.
Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions, staying, right? Staying. He's good. Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, staying.
Stan.
I'm gonna answer these for you, these easy ones. D'Amico Ryan, Houston, Texas, staying. Shane
Stan.
Steichen, in Colts, definitely staying.
Stan.
Uh, Here's an interesting one, and I know people may call me crazy. Doug Peterson, Jacksonville Jaguars. If they go to Tennessee and collapse, I mean,
That's crazy, man. No, he's staying.
he's staying.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's staying.
we're
Doug
we're, we're,
Peterson's a
go-
good coach. He probably shouldn't have got fired in Philly.
we're gonna revisit this next year. You watch what I tell you. We're gonna revisit this. Kansas City, Andy Reid, whatever. Here's an interesting one. Antonio Pierce, Las Vegas Raiders.
I think he's staying. I think the players have bought into his coaching style. I like how he has instilled winning in those players, and I like how he has turned it around in such a short time. So I think he's going to stay. And I don't think the Raiders are going to make the
Unless,
same mistake that they made with the last coach.
unless you know who calls and you know who gets his boy Tom Brady to come back and play quarterback for 2 years. Am I
Bill
crazy?
Belichick?
No, I'm talking about bringing Jim Harbaugh to Vegas and have Tom Brady come out of retirement for a year.
Ooh.
The Michigan connection.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Hey,
You might
so
you might
um,
be onto something there.
so this next one's pretty funny. The Los Angeles Chargers, Giff Smith, he's gone. Giff.
That might be the
Sean,
job that Bill Belichick gets.
and I tell you one thing, he's still a very good defensive coordinator. He needs an offense, and by then, our guy Justin Herbert has no excuses because they've been giving that man so many excuses.
Right.
Got a
It's
couple
ridiculous.
easy ones. Sean McVay, he's staying. McDaniel, he's staying. Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota Vikings, he's going to get one more year. Bill Belichick, I think he's
I like
gone.
him.
Who is that? Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, I like him.
He needs a quarterback. If he gets a decent quarterback, he'll be straight. Bill
Yeah.
Belichick, I think he's gone. I think he's gone from New England. I think that he's either going to go to the Chargers or go to the Commanders.
Yeah, Belichick is definitely out. I could see him where everybody is saying he's going to end up with the Chargers because he's been linked to the other LA team. So
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what happens. And then there's other people that honestly believe he's going to retire. So
I
we'll
don't
just
think
have to
so.
wait.
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think so at all. I think he's still got too much fire. I'm gonna give you a next name who I think that a lot of people are talking about, but sports judge, he could be on the hot seat because his quarterback is not living up to expectations. That's Dennis Allen, New Orleans. That
I
defense is
never
way too
thought
good.
I never thought Dennis Allen was a great coach to begin with, so I can
I
see that
don't
happen.
either. I
I
think
can
it was
see
a
I
horrible
can see it.
hire.
Yeah,
Horrible
I
hire.
think so too. Nice guy and
Um,
everything, but not coaching material.
yeah, nice guys finished last. Brian Dayball for New York Giants. I think he definitely stays. What do you think? He stays, right? He's good. He's
I
good.
I think he stays. Yeah, you saw what he did
Robert,
in year one. So
yeah, Robert Sala. I'm going to say this: if Jim Harbaugh wants, let's say Jim Harbaugh says, "Hey, Jets, I want 150 to 200 million dollars plus. I want the GM role." What happens? What happens? Would the Jets actually bring in Jim Harbaugh?
I mean, Jim Harbaugh is going to be a hot commodity this offseason, and he's really, on a lot of teams' list to be a potential candidate when jobs do open. So, I mean, I could see that happening. Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
give
anything
Salah.
can happen.
I'm gonna give Salah one more year with Aaron Rodgers to see if he's really that guy. Nick Sirianni, I think he stays. Mike Tomlin, I think he could get traded, possibly to the Commanders. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but possibly. I've heard rumors, but I think he stays. Ultimately, Kyle
I think the
Shanahan,
Steelers should keep him, man. They really
I,
should.
I think so too. But like I said, man, we've seen strange things happen. You remember when John Gruden got traded from the Oakland Raiders at the time? We've seen some crazy things happen, man. Kyle Shanahan, he definitely stays in San Francisco. Pete Carroll, um,
Stays or retired. I don't see him retiring though, because now to me, he's the one that has the fire in him. You see what he
I,
does with his players in the
yeah,
locker room,
man,
out on the
yeah,
field,
man.
he throwing the football and stuff.
Can I ask you this real quick about Pete Carroll? Do you think he has unfinished business in college?
No, I think he accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish there.
Yeah, do you think so? Because I don't
Yeah,
think the way because the way it ended, I don't think that was a good way for him. And I don't. And this Seattle team, sports judge, I just don't. I think they've hit their ceiling, brother. I think they've hit their ceiling. I, I think if somebody offered him the right amount of money, I think he would do it. I think he will go somewhere. But I'll agree with you on this for now. He stays. Todd Bowles. I mean, I'm not a big Todd Bowles guy, but I think he stays. What do you think? You think he stays? He's good?
he's all right. I've never been a big fan of him either
Me either,
personally.
man. Me either.
I
Me
think
either.
he
Me
does
either.
in this situation. Yeah, I think he stays.
Now, this name is interesting. And with Bill Belichick leaving, this could definitely be a name that could go to New England. Mike Vrabel, Tennessee Titans. You want to talk about a guy that's done nothing, um, that's taken chicken-ish and made chicken salad, or taken chicken ish and made just a great meal, this guy. I mean, 53 and 42 at Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill. Come on, Sports Judge. I think there's a good chance that he leaves on his own accord and goes to New England, possibly.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's fortunate to have a guy like Derrick Henry who can run the football because that offense goes through him. So a lot of
Can we
credit
just,
goes
yeah,
to Derrick Henry. But Mike Vrabel, man, he has that championship pedigree. He played for
yeah,
you know Belichick and that New England Patriots team and won multiple Super Bowl titles. And he comes from a prominent university, Ohio State, as well. Uh, so yeah, I can see him if it doesn't work out in Tennessee, I could see him landing another job somewhere else.
he got Ryan
And
Tannehill
it
to
could
the
be
AFC Championship game, man. He
it better
got
not be
Ryan.
Josh McDaniels. It could be I'd rather see him over Josh McDaniels. People are talking about Josh McDaniels possibly being a replacement for Bill Belichick.
I feel like Josh McDaniels and Lane Kiffin have 9 lives. Like they gotta have photos of somebody. They gotta have photos of somebody because they keep getting head coaching jobs when honestly they did a lot of things to not deserve it. Last name, and this is
And
the funniest
good
thing.
head coaching job.
Exactly. And this last one is just I think we can say it on three. Me and you can say it on three, and whether he stays or goes. The Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera on three. One, two, three.
Goes,
Gone. Goes, gone, get out,
gone.
whatever. Yeah. Because
Yep.
at, because as I've said years ago, without Cam Newton, he ain't the same coach.
He looks burnt out anyway.
He always looks burnt out, man. He reminds me of Urban Meyer. He always looks burnt out. But you know what I could see Urban. You know what I could see Coach Rivera doing. Coach Rivera needs to go get a defensive coordinator position, um, and go from there. That's what I feel like he needs to do because he's still a good coach, but he needs to go do that because his time as a head coach is over with, in my opinion.
Well, he was a
So
great defensive coordinator before he became a head coach, and I thought he was better in that in that than he is as a head coach.
I
That's
definitely
always
agree
been
with you.
that's always been my opinion of him.
Oh, I agree with you. All right, we got a couple more topics to go. Let's talk about the national championship game and oh how things have come around. Oh how things have come around. I remember back in August, me and a guy named the Sports Judge was talking about a guy named Michael Penix Jr. and just how good he was. Nobody believed in him. Everybody was talking about, oh, Shadir Sanders is better. Blasphemous. Blasphemous. Okay. The Washington Huskies. And for the people who don't understand this, Michael Penix Jr. made Indiana relevant. Do you know how hard it is to make Indiana relevant at quarterback? They haven't had a relevant quarterback since Antoine Randall L. Yes, that Antoine Randall L. Who ended up being a receiver. Sports Judge, we got Michigan, we got Washington. How many people on ESPN and the networks were upset that their boys Bama lost?
Paul Feinberg,
Stephen A.
yep, hearts hearts were broken. There were so many dejected faces,
Yes, there
unbelievable.
was. Yes,
But
there
Michigan
was.
was the better team. Jim Harbaugh clearly outcoached Nick Saban. And
Yes.
that never happens, right? Nick Saban's
No.
usually the one that has his team mentally and physically prepared. He usually has his boys ready to play. They usually play
Mm-hmm.
disciplined football. You didn't see that from this Alabama team. It was a different Alabama team, one that looked very confused out there. I thought Michigan's defense did a good job putting pressure on Jalen Milroe, made it difficult for him. Uh, you know, there wasn't really protection up front for Alabama, and Alabama's offense just completely came unraveled in that game. But that's been the story about them all year, right? They've been inconsistent, And people would say it depends on which Alabama team shows up. And apparently, when they needed to show up in a big way, they didn't. They came up small.
You mean the same team that went to USF and almost lost?
That team. And
Okay.
that team that lost to Texas. Yes.
So sports judge, you know how I feel about, and I think you've heard my stance on the college football playoff. I hate it because Ron, really, when you think about it, the two undefeated teams should have that we had were Michigan and Washington. And I'm not going to talk about Florida State no more because you know they were traumatized. They didn't even want to play against Georgia, so I can't even give them any type of credence because they didn't put any effort into it. But the two best teams are clearly playing. Alabama lost to Texas. Texas beat Alabama already. Texas lost to Oklahoma. Oklahoma ain't that good now. Oklahoma, Texas barely beat some weak teams. These are the best two teams. That defense against that offense. And I'll say this, if Michigan can somehow score on Monday night, they have a good chance of winning. But I have Washington winning this game, not only because I am a huge fan of Michael Penix Jr., but their receivers are so good, sports judge. And for the people that say, oh, it's Washington, yada, yada, no. Undunze has 87 catches for 1,553 yards and 13 touchdowns. How many other receivers do you know in the country that's got numbers like that? And
Not too many.
you see them up close and personal with USC.
Right. No, they got great receivers. They got studs out there, man. And Michael Penix Jr. is just on a different level. The only thing that concerns me with Washington is their weak defensive line. That's a bit worrisome. Uh, they're not really gonna terrorize Michigan up front, really. They're not gonna really be able. I don't think they're. I don't think they're capable of stopping the run or slowing down or neutralizing.
I agree with that because Blake Corum is that dude. Blake Corum
Right,
is that
right,
dude.
right.
So I agree with you.
And all they have to do is really run the ball down their throat. And they're not really going to make that stop. But on offense, we know what they're going to do. And we know what they're capable of doing on offense. But on defense, that defense is questionable. And that defense, that's the only concern that I have with Washington, which
Do you
makes
trust? Do
it
you?
hard for me to pick them because when you
Yeah.
look at Michigan, they're more of a complete team on both sides of the ball. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because a lot of people are pissed off with Michigan right now. A lot of people are rooting against Michigan because of this cheating, the sign stealing, cheating scandal, and all everything else. They're pissed off with them because of the sign stealing scheme, and it's Michigan versus everybody else. So a lot of people are going against Michigan. They want Washington, but when you really look at it from an unbiased standpoint, you see a Michigan team that's very well balanced, that's very well coached, that's complete on both sides of the ball. JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy has gotten better. JJ McCarthy is accurate. The accuracy is there. He makes the right throws at the right time in crucial situations of the game. You got a strong running game, so that alleviates the pressure. You got
Do you
Blake
trust
Corum.
him? Do you trust JJ McCarthy in this game? Do you trust him to make the right decisions? A lot of people, and we're gonna get into this in a second. This is the next topic we have about him being a top guy. Do you trust him
I
in this
trust him
national
enough.
championship game?
I trust him enough. I didn't trust him against Alabama because Alabama's secondary was one of the best in the country, and they had a
Yeah.
better secondary than what Washington has. So if he did it against the Alabama secondary, when you have a Terrion Arnold and you have a Kool-Aid McKinstry in that secondary,
He's
he
going
could
top 15.
right. He could definitely do it against this Washington secondary.
So you're looking
That
at,
I'm not concerned about. But I
yes.
think if they do what they do best, which is pound the rock, I think they'll be fine and they give themselves a great chance to win.
So everything I'm gathering from you, sports judge, you're basically telling me this is going to be a high scoring football game.
I think so. I think so. You got two
Give
powerhouses. You got
yes,
two undefeated teams going head to
yes,
head. It can't
yes.
get any better than that.
And the thing is that people cannot stereotype the pack. I know that they're now in the Big Ten, But no,
Right.
people cannot stereotype the Pac-12 like they've done in the past. This Pac-12, and for the people who say, "Oh, it's just Oregon," did you see what Oregon did to Liberty? Did you see what Oregon did to Liberty? Oregon is a good team who lost twice to this Washington team. They are legit, ladies and gentlemen, legit. So give me your two key players in this game, one from Michigan and one from Washington, who, you know, kind of unorthodox. In my opinion, mine is gonna shock some people.
My key player is Blake Corum. I think that offense operates through him, and when he goes, that offense goes. So make sure he gets the touches that he needs. Feed him the ball. Let him do his thing. Let him go to work. Let him be that workhorse that he has been consistently all year. Remember, a year ago, Michigan didn't have him because he suffered that injury
Yes,
that put him
yes,
out for the season. So I mean, that's one of my key players in the game. On the other side of the ball, I'm gonna stay with the offense. I'm gonna go with Michael Penix Jr. He's that guy. He is him.
yeah. So okay, I'll give you that. I was saying give me some unorthodox players, but however, I'll give you that
Oh,
because
oh,
yeah, yeah.
you want some?
Because no. I'm saying you can keep him because he is a key. Because if he doesn't play well, we've seen how Washington has been the last few weeks. Let me give you my keys for Michigan, my from both teams. Roman Wilson, 45 catches, 735 yards, 12 touchdowns, 52 and a half yards per catch. He has to show up, right? He had at least 7 catches, 70 yards last week against Alabama, had a touchdown. He has to show up for that Michigan team. Now, for Washington, we know about Penix Jr., we know about all these great players. But for Washington to really win this game, sports judge, is going to come down to one guy, and he's going to have a big game, and that's Braylon Trice. He has 7 sacks on the year. He's going to have to get pressure on JJ McCarthy. He's going to have tackles for loss. They have injuries on that secondary. They have injuries in that front seven. He is going to have to make sure that he is the man that takes care of business for Washington. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think defense is very important. That's going to be very important for Washington. Can they do it? I'm not sure they can. But if there's one guy that has to be able to do it and kind of set the tone for that defense, it's that guy. It's him. He's gonna have to be able to really put pressure on JJ because if you put pressure on JJ, what does that do? That forces him to most likely make
Yeah.
a mistake.
So in
You
this
know?
game, sports. So I guess the key word, sports judge, basically is this: it's not about if you can stop anybody. It's about timely stops. Can you get those timely stops? Because we saw in the Oregon game against Washington at Washington, Washington can score really quickly. But I'll tell you like this: if Michigan shuts down this Washington team, this could be one of their. This could. I'm not gonna say one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen, but you got to start talking about top 10, top 15 defenses because Jalen Milroe can play. I don't think people see that game against Alabama and they think Jalen Milroe is not good. Jalen Milroe can play football. I told you he has that Dak Prescott type of feel for me when he was in college at Mississippi State. But Milroe's faster and he can throw a better deep ball. Um, and Bama's got players on the outside better than Michigan, and they still won that game. So Washington's gonna have to bring it, my man. All right, we're gonna go to the next topic. Sports Judge. Let's talk about NFL prospects coming into this draft. Do you have your top five ready for the people? Because mine is gonna surprise people.
I don't really have a top five. I haven't really planned one out, but I'll give you some names.
Yeah, give me well I'll read some names to you. I'll give you this is from CBS Sports their draft. They have
Okay.
Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Shadir Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., let's see, Joe Milton, Cameron Ward, Michael Pratt, and Cam Rising, and let's see, Will Howard and Jordan Travis. Just give me a 5 through 1. What players do you have? Do you think are the best?
Caleb Williams,
Number one.
definitely.
Oh, you're number two.
Jaden Daniels.
Go ahead.
Um, well, statistically,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at what he did statistically. I like
Michael
Marvin
Penix should.
Harris.
Michael
I like
Penix. These. Yeah. Quarterbacks only. Quarterbacks only.
quarterbacks only.
Yeah, this is quarterbacks only. Remember that. This is quarterbacks only.
Okay. I don't know. Sometimes when you pick a quarterback that everyone pays close attention to, that everyone sees blossoms in college, that everyone sees is shining on the big stage, those are usually the quarterbacks that don't pan out like you think they would. So
Yeah.
everyone's not talking about Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels could be the one. And you see what he did statistically, even though his team didn't really.
Well, I'm saying he won the Heisman, and some people have him projected going top five. I'm not really a biggest fan of Jamie Daniels, especially what I saw at Arizona State. But again, maybe he turned the corner. Maybe he turned the corner at LSU. But
Right,
for
right.
me, I don't know. So, but go ahead, finish. You can finish up your list.
And yeah, Michael Penix Jr. third.
Should have been the Heisman.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you could make that argument too, but I felt like it could have gone either way.
Yeah, yeah.
So, could have really
Number
gone
four.
either way.
You're number four.
Uh Drake May.
I'll give you that.
I don't
Number
know.
five. And your
Number
fifth
five
guy.
is tough for me.
Oh, it's very tough. Very tough.
Yeah, number five is very tough. You got a great class of quarterbacks this year,
Very.
which makes it kind of tough.
Are you going? Are you going
I
JJ
said,
McCarthy?
huh?
Are you going JJ McCarthy
I mean, I would put him in my top five, yeah.
over Bo Nix?
Over Bo Nix, yes. And I had originally said Bo Nix was a top five, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So okay. So let's go with my 5 through 1 here. At number 5, I have. Don't kill me. I got Cameron Ward.
That's okay.
Number 4, Drake May.
I know Cameron Ward. I watched him a few times at Washington State.
Yeah. Cameron Ward. At number 4, I have Jaden Daniels. At number 3, I have
This must be an unpopular opinion, but all right.
number 3, I have Caleb Williams.
No, you know what? That kind of makes sense at number 3. Why I say that is because he has shown some immaturity.
It's not even the immaturity. It depends on where he goes. And the thing is that he's so good that I kind of want him to be underrated, a little bit underrated going into this thing. At number 2, Bo Nix. Let me tell you something, man. I kind of clown. I'm not gonna say clown Bo Nix before the season, but I was like, Bo Nix, whatever. Yo, this dude can fling the football. He's legit. And number
He can.
1,
Yep.
yeah. And number 1 for me right now, until things change, until I can do some more evaluations, Michael Penix Jr. I think Michael Penix Jr. is the best thrower of the football. He's mature. He's 50 years old. He's more like he's 24 years old. He's mature. He played at Indiana. He's done wonders at the University of Washington. What would Washington's record be without Michael Penix Jr.?
They wouldn't even be in next Monday night's game.
No, they'd have 5-6 wins easily.
He's a special. He's a special player, man. And like you said, I love his great deal of maturity. I like how he handles himself, and his journey. His journey is an incredible one. It really is. Like you hear his life story, and you're like, wow, this man's been through all that. And this is a guy. I don't want to say he almost quit football because he did say
he did. It was legit.
Yeah, but he corrected the reporter after the game and said, he didn't really quit. He just fell on hard times, really.
But
You
sports
know,
judge. But that's the thing, though. I wouldn't blame him for saying that because you would see NFL GMs who would say we don't want to draft this guy because he may quit easily or he may get discouraged. But the things he went through with those ACL injuries and everything and all the other,
back-to-back years. Yep.
yeah. Like honestly, these days it's kind of sad. You can't really tell the truth anymore unless you're Cat Williams. So. So those are our top fives. And as the time goes on, Sports Judge, we're going to talk more NFL draft coming up because it is going to be a crazy, crazy NFL offseason, as me and you discussed on our message boards. Now, this is our last topic before we get to the Hot Take King segment. This is you're talking about a hot topic. The Chicago Bears. Sports Judge, what do they do at number one? No pressure.
knowing
No
them,
pressure.
knowing them, and
They're
knowing,
gonna F it up, right?
yeah, knowing them, they're gonna draft another quarterback when they really truly need an offensive lineman. But you can always find offensive linemen later in the draft. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. But I think they should draft Marvin Harrison Jr. And the reason I say that is because they need someone to complement a DJ Moore. They need a standout receiver. And Marvin Harrison Jr. can fill in nicely in Chicago. They don't need another quarterback. I believe in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is that guy moving forward. All you need is the right coaching, the right personnel, and the right pieces around him to make it work. And if they could do
Okay.
that, Justin Fields will be fine. Justin
Okay.
Justin Fields has shown flashes of greatness of what
Because
he can
early,
do.
yeah, because earlier you were saying you didn't believe him that much, but I think I may have swayed you a little bit. Sports Judge, let me give you this scenario, and it is a very juicy scenario, right?
Right.
The Chicago Bears draft Marvin Harrison at number one, right? They got the number 10 pick. Brock Bowers doesn't get picked. You still have Cole Kmet, yes, but then you go and get Brock Bowers, and you pair him with Marvin Harrison Jr. Not only that, Sports Judge, but check this out. The Chicago Bears have $61.5 million in cap space. The Bears will be in the playoffs and damn near making a Super Bowl run next year if they followed this plan. But guess what? They're not because they're the Bears. Think about that. Marvin Harrison Jr. You could get Brock Bowers. They made one of the smartest deals I've seen in years. They stole Montez Sweat from the Commanders for a third round pick. The big dummies. How dumb could you be? They stole him. Chase Young, there's no guarantee he's going to be back with the 49ers. Imagine if he came to Chicago and got on the edge with Montez Sweat. Do you see where I'm going here?
I see where
Do
you're
you see
going.
what I'm saying here?
Yep.
Do you see how Chicago could go from 7 wins to damn near a Super Bowl contender next year? I
Yep.
mean, so
If they draft
Caleb Williams,
right,
yeah.
right.
So what do you think?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna end up drafting Caleb Williams and being stupid because they're the
Knowing
Bears?
knowing them, yes. They're gonna go with another quarterback, which I think is dumb because for one, Matt Eberflus isn't your guy. He can't really develop Justin Fields because he's a defensive minded coach.
And the
His
defense has been playing a lot better too.
his
So
specialty is defense. True that, but they need someone that can develop their young quarterback.
so you're telling me that if the
Maybe that's
Commanders
why you should hire a better offensive coordinator. I don't know because Luke Getzey isn't the answer either.
so you're telling me if the Commanders get rid of um Eric Bieniemy, you bring him in to Chicago? and really coach up Justin Fields hard because let's be
Yep.
honest about something. Sam
Yeah.
Howell was
Oh
playing.
yeah.
Let's be honest. Sam Howell was playing really good before he got that concussion. He ain't been the same dude since. So if you could get him in that offense with those weapons, sheesh, come on, man.
And I'll tell you this: the Chiefs' offense has been discombobulated and a mess since Eric
Ooh.
Bieniemy left.
According to Sean McCoy, he ain't that good of a coach.
Oh yeah, Sean McCoy doesn't know what he's talking about. I can't stand that guy, man.
I don't even want to get you started on a speak show. Listen, I like
That
speak
dude's a
sometimes.
goofball.
Listen, all right. So for everyone that doesn't, know, the sports judge is not a big fan of the speak. He's not a fan of Acho. He's not a fan of Shane McCoy, and the sports judge took some heat because he said something about Joey Taylor. Let's just be honest, folks. Let's just be honest about something. I like Joey Taylor sometimes, but we all know that there's a uno dos reason why she's really on TV. But we're not going to talk about that.
I mean, it's facts, but people got mad at me.
But but
Oh
why?
well.
Because guess what? You told a Cat Williams truth. Speaking of truth, let's go to the hot take segment where we both get stuff off our chest. It's time to get uncensored. It's time to get crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hot take sports segment. Sports judge, go off.
Darvin Ham, your days are numbered as a Lakers head coach. It's time for Jeannie Buss and that organization to show you the door, escort you to the door, tell them, tell it's time for you to pack your stuff and leave. Get the hell out.
The sports judge,
We're
I need
done.
you to go on one. I need one of those epic rants real quick. Give it to me. Give me one of your epic Laker rants. Come on, man. Let's do this. You're holding back, and I don't like it, sports judge. You're holding back. I need you to go ham on these Lakers.
You want me
Let's
to go
go.
Darvin Ham on these
I
Lakers?
need you to go ham
You
on these Lakers.
seriously need
This
me
is
to go
this is
off
this
on
is the
these
hot take.
Lakers? I'll tell you what's wrong with these Lakers. The damn rotation, the damn substitutions. Darvin Ham doesn't know how to counter the zone. He doesn't know how to attack the zone. He has not figured it out. You know, this dude is an utter joke. How did he become a head coach in the NBA? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no idea. But I do know this: the Lakers are a hot mess. And Darvin Ham is part of the problem. He has to go. His days are done. I'm over it. I can't bear to watch another Laker game because every time I watch a Laker game, I'm seeing the same thing I see every night. They miss a ton of shots. They can't make their shots. Terrible shot selection, ill-advised shots, uh, too many turnovers, turnover after turnover. It's pathetic. Why?
I I got to interrupt you for a second, and I hate to bring this in here. The Clippers are now 21-12. They're fourth in the West. They play the Lakers Sunday night at 9:30.
And we
What
will lose.
happens? What happens if the Clippers blow out the Lakers?
And we will lose. And if they blow out the Lakers, then that'll be a good thing because maybe Darvin Ham's ass will get fired. So blow their asses out. Blow them out. Lakers need to be blown out. They don't deserve to win another basketball game until Darvin Ham is fired. LeBron James, 39 years old, and you're asking this man to score 40 points a game. You know what? How about you guys step your asses up and contribute to this offense and score some points as well? Because I don't see anybody else stepping up. Everyone else is standing around watching, being spectators, letting LeBron go to work, putting wear and tear on his body. It's taking a toll on this man's body. I understand father time hasn't really kicked in just yet, but you can't expect this man to do everything. They want this man to do everything.
Everything.
Everything. 39
Oh,
year
but
old man. You want a 39-year-old man to score all these damn points.
oh, by the way, The
What?
Lakers got.
And you got a guy like Prince out there breaking shots.
By the way, the Lakers got Memphis tonight. Ja Morant's been on a revenge tour. He's been on a revenge tour. You know as well as I know that he's going to try to come in and put up 50. Am I
It
lying?
wouldn't surprise me. The Lakers can't defend. They don't play defense.
You want to talk about D'Angelo Russell for a second? Go.
They don't play deep. They don't play defense. D'Angelo Russell can get traded for all I care. I don't care anymore. Trade his ass. Get rid of him.
What's he going to get traded for? A box of cookies, as Stephen A. said?
I guess so. Trade him for a box of Cracker Jacks. Damn it. Get him out of here. I'm done with him.
That's racist.
I'm done with him too. He's out of here.
That's racist.
He shouldn't even be a starter. He should be coming off the bench. Bring it.
That's racist.
Your ass on the bench.
That's racist, sports judge. You can't say Cracker Jacks anymore. They outlawed that. They outlawed that. They outlawed that. You can't say that, sports judge.
Lakers, man. Darvin Ham with his brown and yellow ass New Balance shoes on the sideline. You know you got a problem with the coaches wearing New Balances.
Bro, don't his head look like a ham for real?
He does, and I don't like ham. I like turkey better. Hire somebody with the last name Turkey.
Oh, Hito Turkey. What about Hito Turkaloo? Turkaloo.
There we go. I'll take him over Darvin Ham any day of the week.
What about Dwight Howard?
I don't understand this. The Lakers have not learned. The Lakers have not learned. Didn't they learn anything when they had Luke Walton as the head coach? How did he become the head coach? Because his daddy's Bill Walton?
Don't remind me of that.
His rotations and substitutions were just as bad as Darvin Ham. They didn't get it that time.
I mean, Bill Rambis was the coach one time.
Darvin Ham. If you was gonna hire Darvin Ham, you was better off keeping Frank Vogel as the head coach. Should have hired Mark Jackson. Everybody say, well, he's blacklisted because of his religious views and all this other nonsense, all because he's difficult to work with and all this other nonsense. But his players liked him, didn't they? You see that team that Steve Kerr coaches in Golden State? That was because Mark Jackson built the team. But nobody talks about that.
I mean, of course not. Mark Jackson is white. Steve Kerr is black.
Hire Mark Jackson. You know, someone told me today this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened when you choose to hire a black coach, when you make it all about color. No, the Lakers didn't make it all about color. The Lakers like to hire a yes man. That's their damn problem. And Darvin Ham is nothing more than a damn certified yes man. He's a puppet on strings. He'll do whatever Jeannie Buss and that front office tell him to do.
See, that's what I understand, sports judge. If this is 2023 and it's 2024, and we're only hiring people because of diversity and all this other. No, it's not because of that. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You're gonna call me crazy. I think Dawn Staley could come into the Lakers and be a better head coach. I think she's that good. She actually built. Man, please. I don't want no Becky Hammond in no LA, man. I don't want no Becky. I mean, sports judge, you're going to be complaining about week 2. What did she do with San Antonio? Tell me. What did Becky Hammond do at San Antonio?
Diddity squat.
Diddity squat. Nothing.
Nada.
What has she built in WNBA? Nothing. She inherited a great team. But what has Dawn Staley done? She has built up South Carolina into this power.
That's true. That's fact. That's definitely fact.
I only keep it real, sir. My turn now. In the word of Skip Bayless, my turn. So,
all right, timeout.
Right. So, I'm glad I have the sports judge on here because on the first annual Hot Take Kings sports segment, I want to shout out to everybody out there who's doing this media thing independently. I want to shout you guys out because you guys are doing a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of articles, a lot of pictures, etc. But I really want to shout out to the people out there who are a bunch of crap. You people out there who are on these social networks who only care about the celebrities, what about us? What about us? You know, if we all supported each other, liked each other's pages, gave a like on YouTube, gave a follow on YouTube, just imagine what all we could do. Just imagine the greatness we could all have in this world. But no, you only care about the celebrities. You only care about the people that are on Speak, First Take, etc. This is the Rob Johnson Sports Show. This is one of the best shows out there. The Sports Judge. When you talk about people like Darrell Owens, you talk about Legacy Maker, Bowie TV. If people like that. There are other sports shows. I'm sorry if I'm drawing a blank. You got guys out there like Brian Snow, who I don't agree with his takes at times because they're crazy and pass crazy. But guess what? He puts the work in. You know, me and a guy like Drew Willingham, we've had issues in the past, but we try to work together when we can. The man puts the work in when he can. Stuff like that. Legacy Maker Sports Network. You look at Christina. Do you guys realize what Christina's been doing over these last few months, covering the Jacksonville Jaguars? I share her stuff as much as I can. Then we have NASCAR. Becca Cunningham, one of the best when it comes to NASCAR, etc. We have so many people that do so much good work on the independent circuit, but yet and still, all you people out there care about is what these celebrities are doing. Screw the celebrities. In fact, Sports Judge, bring you. You can unmute yourself. I saw a video the other day where a grown woman was telling little girls, they're like, if you could hang out with Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, which one would it be? They're like, and one girl's like, oh, she's my inspiration, Megan Thee Stallion. I wanted somebody to whip that child because I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong
You
with
mean
you
to tell
people?
me a rapper that went body yaddy 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 yaddy? Wow.
And now has a Planet Fitness commercial. I work out at Planet Fitness. How low can you get than Planet Fitness? I have
Next
no
thing you
issues with
know,
Planet Fitness.
she'll have her own damn McDonald's menu,
Oh, she already
like
had
some
that.
of these celebrities had.
She already had that. So
I
my
ain't gonna
so
lie
my
though, the Cardi B one and the Travis Scott one was dope. I ain't
hey
gonna
man,
lie.
it's something about that Cardi B accent,
It's just
but you know,
it's overrated. Like those meals, it's just something they like to eat. That's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah. But my biggest point is stop believing in celebrities, folks. Do you realize these people are getting paid to screw with your mind? Have a lot of you people ever just thought about, hey, why are there only certain celebrities that are getting big? Look at what Cat Williams said. I'm brought out Cat Williams. I'm gonna bring him up again. You know, he is the type of guy that talks about certain people lying in this industry. And yes, these people are used for mind control. A lot of you out there are mind controlled. You don't know the difference between a real video and a fake video. The sports judge be out there giving y'all content all the time, and y'all be thinking it's real or it's not real. The sports judge is a great marketer, but y'all don't believe in that. Why? Because he's not this big celebrity. He be having y'all in shambles. Why? Because he's great at marketing. Because honestly, folks, our education, he's an educator. He can tell you, education needs to get a lot better in this country. Because a lot of y'all, I'm gonna leave it at this, and my rant will be over. A lot of y'all are stupid, straight stupid. Get some education. Get some education.
This
Any
is
last
awesome.
words?
This is
Any
awesome.
last
No,
and any
no,
and
this is
I'm just serious, man.
freaking
Bro,
awesome.
bro, I'm tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this. Go out, go out to the street tomorrow with a microphone and ask people who the first president of the United States was. Ask them what AM or PM mean. Ask them some of the most basic questions. I bet you there are natural born United States citizens who couldn't pass the immigration test.
They'll tell you Abraham Lincoln was the first president of the United States. Just like they did, they did an appearance here, right? They did like a survey. No, an appearance. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it was an appearance about the state capital here in California.
They said Los
And
Angeles, didn't they?
most people said Los Angeles. Most people said San Diego. A few people said San Francisco. And nobody said Sacramento. was like, are you kidding me? I've
Do
learned
you
that in
know?
the third grade.
Do you know something? I bet you if you asked a lot of people what's the capital of Georgia, they probably say Atlanta. In fact, I think most people think that the state is named Atlanta.
How would you live in your own state and not know the state capital? Like I learned that in third grade. They taught us that in third grade. They had
And
us
it's
do a
kind of
project.
important. It's kind of
Right.
important to know that.
It is very important to know that because they had us do a project in third grade. I remember third or fourth grade, and it was the state bird. You had to do the state bird. You had to do the state capital, and you had to do the state flower.
I don't
And
know
you
about the
mean to
flower.
tell me that
I don't know
people?
about the flower, man. I don't know about the flower, man.
Yeah, yeah, they had a state flower too that we had.
That's a little strange, man. Ain't we the only
Yeah,
flower? Listen, look. Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something?
yeah.
You being in California, was that flower green?
That I don't remember. I'm not into flowers like that, so I couldn't tell you. I do know Kansas because they call them the sunflower state. That's their flower, the sunflower. I do know that much. I do remember that.
Well, Sports Judge, that was a fun segment. Do you have any last words for the people?
Man, I just want to say it's been a blast once again to be on the show. It's been awesome, man. You crack me up. This is so hilarious. I had a great night on this show. Hopefully, we do this again very soon. And the people know where they can find me. They can find me on YouTube, The Sports Judge. Like and like the content there.
Like, subscribe, everything.
Yeah,
And if you don't, and if you don't, I'm coming to your house.
Oh. So you better hit that subscribe button. And
you better hit that subscribe button. You better like.
You guys can find me on TikTok too, The Sports Judge 85. The Sports Judge 85. Find me there.
Duh.
We can chat.
You heard him. You heard him.
Have a great time and chat sports.
Well, Sports Judge, my last words for tonight is basically this. In our last segment, this is basically what I came up with. The miseducation of Darvin Ham. When I talk education, you talk Darvin Ham. So the miseducation of Darvin Ham. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night and the miseducation of Darvin Ham.
Peace.
Love and soft screw.